Welcome to Whippoorwill Holler. I'm Miss Lori and this is Mr. Brown. We live in the hills of Arkansas. We love the Lord. Keepers of the old way, but accept some of the new. We love to cook and we love to eat. We love to garden. It's in our blood. It's how we stay sustainable and fill our pantry. We do a lot of canning and preserving. We live a sustainable life. We love our family. We work hard. And every once in a while, we like to dance. So y'all join us. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Miss Lori's Kitchen here at Whippoorwill Holler. When we left off a couple Fridays ago, we were looking at some of my these little pamphlet cookbooks that used to, and I guess sometimes you still do. I guess I just don't look for them very much anymore. But you would get these at the checkout counter when you check out. And we were looking at these, and I had so many comments of so many that remember these and remember these older ones too. Well, going through them, I was showing y'all some of the recipes, and there was a couple recipes that some of y'all really drew to and said that y'all would like for me to do. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And even my cousin Julie down in Texas, she was watching and she said, oh, please do the Cran-raspberry Relish. And because I'd seen that and I showed y'all and I said, this looks like a really, really good recipe for the holidays. And a lot of y'all said, please, Miss Lori, do the Cran-raspberry Relish. So that's what we're going to be doing. This is out of the Family Living Holiday Favorites Fall Sweets Edition pamphlet. I ain't got my glasses on. I put them on and see what year this is. But some of y'all said that y'all remember this book and had this book. So what I'll do, at the end of this video, I will put a screenshot of the recipes up there. But I will also be putting them in the description box below my videos. I always have my recipes for that video down there in my description box, always below all my videos. And I even have a lot of my playlist of different videos and stuff down there too. Different links to a lot of stuff that I use, products that I use, stuff like that. So if you're watching me on TV or your computer, you have to go to your phone or your computer. You can do it on computer and go. But if you watch me on TV, you can't do it. But you have to go below. Go below the video where the title of the video is. And just down below that title, there'll be the description of, you know, the video, and then when you click on the word more or show more, that's when our recipes and all of our information comes down. So I hope that helps y'all just a little bit. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get started on our Cran-raspberry Relish. This really sounds good, y'all. Mr. Brown's not with me right now. He had a doctor's appointment this morning. It was just a checkup, so he's okay. He's doing good. In fact, his doctor, he called me and said, his doctor said, man, you're doing really good. So that means that all his tests come back really good. Danny says, he said, you're doing pretty good. And Danny said, are you trying to tell me I'm getting old? And he said, no, but everything comes back looking really good. So we're really proud of that he's in such good health. Our next recipe is going to be the old Jiffy cookbook. A lot of y'all commented on that too. And I picked one out, and I think what we're going to do is I'm going to try to do the corn fritters. I hope I can get it in on this video today. If I can't, we'll do it next Friday. We'll continue with Cooking with My Cookbook series on Fridays. So anyways, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I welcome y'all. We have a big, beautiful community here with Whippoorwill Holler. We help each other, we encourage each other, and we share. We share a lot of our experiences in our life, recipes, homesteading, canning, just whatever, we share it with each other. And the main thing is that we are good to each other. And that's what we need to be, is always be encouraging and good to each other, not hateful. There's just no room in this world for hatefulness. There's enough of that going around. So let's get started on our Cran-raspberry relish. How about that? I'm going to tell y'all what I've got here. And some of it I had to just kind of change up just a little bit because I didn't have it. But all you're going to need is 8 ounces of crushed pineapple, drained. I've got, now the recipe calls for a jar of raspberry jelly. We don't even eat jelly. We usually eat preserves or fruit butters. But I did have in my pantry, believe it or not, a jar. And this is a 13-ounce jar, and it calls for a 12-ounce jar of raspberry jelly. But I'm using raspberry preserves, which I think will be just fine. It does have a lot of the fruit in there. It's not just the juice. So I think that'll make it a little bit better. What do y'all think? I've got a can of, you know, it's funny because this calls for a 16-ounce can of whole berry cranberry sauce. You don't get 16-ounce cans anymore, but you just get as close as you can. It's going to work. So this is the whole berry cranberry sauce. You need a cup of sugar. Now, you can use a sugar substitute. You can also maybe use honey, but if you use honey, as you're using it, taste it till it gets to being a little bit sweet enough for you. Because sometimes if you put like a whole cup of honey, it's too much. So just kind of put a little bit in, taste it, and see what it tastes like. We've got, let's see, it said 11-ounce can of Manderin oranges. And you need to drain them too. So I had a 15-ounce can of Manderin oranges. I just kind of guessed at it and ate some of it till I got about 11 ounces. And you want them drained too. So we've got our Mandarin oranges drained. We've got our unsweetened. It doesn't say unsweetened crushed pineapple, so you can use either. We got it drained. Our whole berry cranberry sauce. Cup of sugar. We've got 1/4 teaspoon of allspice and about 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Let's see, I've also got 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, or you can use arrowroot if you'd rather. So that's pretty much it. You're not going to be adding any water or any kind of juices to this. Now, what I did have to do, because the recipe calls for 12 ounces of unsweetened frozen raspberries. I didn't have any frozen raspberries. I have frozen strawberries, blueberries, but I did find a small bag. Let me get it. I did find a small bag of frozen raspberry medley, which means it's got raspberries and blueberries in it, and it had just a few strawberries in it. I took the strawberries out and ate them. So what I've gotten here is mostly raspberries and blueberries, because I didn't have just raspberries, and I wouldn't go store and buy a package when I had fruit here. So I think it'll still be good. What do y'all think? Like I said, I'll have this recipe down below in the information box, plus I'm going to screenshot it for y'all. So what we're going to do is we're going to get over to the stove. We're going to throw all this in a pot and get it cooked up, and then it's about that easy. You got you some Cran-raspberry Relish. We're going to taste it and see how good it is, because this may be one of my go-to relishes during the holidays. Okay, we are going to start with our Cran-raspberry Relish. So pretty much all you're going to need to do is throw it in this pot. Let the sugars dissolve, and once your sugar dissolves and everything's good and blended and it comes up to a boil, you're going to just keep stirring it, and you're going to let it boil for about 5 minutes or until it starts to thicken up. But it does need to cook for at least about 5 minutes. So what I do is I turn my burner on like a medium low. That way it's not too high, and it thickens up, you know, before 5 minutes. So all you have to do, put your pot on here. And the first thing I'm going to put in there, let's see, we don't have any juices at all to put in here. We're going to put our Mandarin oranges, about 10, 11 ounces. We've got 8 ounces of crushed pineapple, and you can use sweetened or unsweetened, either one. I've got my can of whole berry cranberry relish. I love this stuff, y'all. I can't eat dressing, turkey and dressing, without my relish. Whether if it's homemade or store-bought, it don't matter. I just like it. We've got, this is probably more or less 10 ounces. It says 12 ounces of thawed frozen raspberries. And that'll be down in the recipe. But this is what I'm using, a mixture of raspberries and blueberries, because that's what I had. And I'm sure that them blueberries are probably going to make it a little tart. I got a cup of sugar. And you can use a sugar substitute or honey. Just taste it as you go to make sure it tastes right to you. I'm going to stir this up a little bit. You know, I think once you get this this thickened and take it off of the burner, and after you let it cool, you could probably add you some pecans or walnuts to it. That would be good too. Some people even like to throw a little bit of sweetened shredded coconut in their cranberry relish, but that's just up to you. Here we got our spices, which is 1/4 teaspoon of allspice and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then of course we got our raspberry preserves, but the recipe calls for raspberry jelly. I personally think that the preserves would be better. And that, besides your 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, is it. You just want to get it stirred up really good. Just make sure that your burner's not too high, because you sure don't want to scald it. Like I said, I don't have any kind of, the only juice that'll probably be in here is from your frozen raspberries. Even though they thawed and you drained them, there's still going to be juice in there. And that's okay. A little bit's not going to hurt it. I don't know if y'all can see the pretty color of that. Okay, this is my 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Before it gets hot, I want to go ahead and put my cornstarch in there. Don't let it get hot and then put your cornstarch in, because it'll just clump up really bad. Okay, it's looking good already. I'm going to let this come to a good boil. Time it for 5 minutes and let it thicken up. And if it starts to thicken up before 5 minutes, I'm going to turn my burner even lower and just keep stirring it. You can see it's already starting to thicken up. Make sure you put that cornstarch in there though before your mixture gets hot. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but it is starting to bubble up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start timing it right now for 5 minutes. It's starting to boil, bubble. Usually when it's this thick, it bubbles more than it boils. So count down 5 minutes. Okay, it has thickened up. It's been 5 minutes. I've got my burner turned off. Now I'm going to take it completely off the burner and I'm going to let it cool completely down. That's going to take a few hours and it will get thicker too as it sets up. Now at this point, if you want to, you can go ahead and put it in whatever containers you want to put them in. I'm going to put mine in a wide mouth pint jar, and if there's some left, I'll put it in a jelly jar. We'll just have to see what it fits. Now, I know some of y'all are going to ask me if you can can this. You won't be able to with the cornstarch in it. You can use this mixture though. Put you a tablespoon of lemon juice. I wouldn't know the exact amount of pectin you will need to use in it. That will be up to your whatever you think as far as Sure-Gel, your bulk pectin or whatever. But it will thicken up. And I'm going to tell y'all, I've already tasted of this and I'm really impressed by it. I can't wait for it to cool off. And I'm thinking that when you serve this and you put maybe a few chopped up walnuts or pecans in it, they'll just take it over the top. If you've got people in your family or guests that love a good relish with their holiday meals, it'll really be good. So let's let this cool off and we'll come back and we'll look at it here in just a little bit. Well, we're back a couple hours later and our Cran-raspberry Relish has cooled down and it makes 6 cups. So I've got 2 pint jars and I've got a jelly jar. Then I've got 2 of the little little jelly jars. So it makes around 6 cups. Since I used which you can use arrowroot or cornstarch, but since I used cornstarch in it, you do not need to can it with the cornstarch in it. Now you might put you some lemon juice in it and be able to cook it down and get it thick enough without Sure-Gel or pectin. Sometimes I've done that too, making preserves. But if you want to can it, you want to go ahead and water bath it to put it, shelf stable. Just make sure that you add a little bit of lemon juice and then look up how much you need pectin you need to put since it makes 6 cups per cup. Whether if you use Sure-Gel, I keep bulk pectin is what I keep, so it's just up to you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the 2 little jars out. I'm going to put them in the refrigerator because we will be eating on these. We can eat this with any kind of maybe chicken, if I make chicken and dumplings, chicken and rice, or just so many different things that we'll eat this Cran-raspberry relish with. But these 3 I'm going to put in the freezer. Some people do freezer jams. That's just like you can do this the same way. So just make sure that you write down on top what it is and the date and stick it in your freezer. You can also give this as gifts if you know somebody around the holidays. Make it up, a couple days before and give it to them, but tell them that, that they need to keep it in the refrigerator. So, in fact, either this size or the smaller would be a good gift size. But it's set up really, really well, of course, with the cornstarch. It is just the right thickness to put on the side with your turkey and dressing. I was thinking, and I have tasted of it already, but I'm going to taste it again. The cinnamon and allspice that I put in here, which the allspice is just 1/4 of a teaspoon, gives it just enough. I mean, any more than that would be too much. If you don't like allspice, don't put it in there, just put cinnamon. But it has a really good taste to it that will go good with so many things. I was also thinking that you could use this Say you baked a ham for Thanksgiving or Christmas. Right before it's done, the ham is done, smear some of this on top of that ham and then stick it back in the oven for a little bit to where the relish will just kind of, you know, dissolve and break down on top of that ham and kind of melt down in there. It would be delicious. I mean, it's that good. You could use this on chicken breast. You could eat this with pork. That's how good it is. So I hope y'all try it. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. But I'm really excited to try it at Thanksgiving with my turkey and dressing. So I hope y'all like this recipe. I think next Friday we're going to get into our, I'm not going to be able to do it today, but we're going to get into the old Jiffy recipe pamphlet. A lot of y'all commented on this, that y'all, somebody even found one somewhere and bought one. And this is the old Jiffy pamphlet recipe booklet that would have been found over by the cash registers or somewhere. It's not very big, but like I said, it's the pamphlet, but it has a lot of recipes in here. So the one I know we're going to be doing are the Jiffy corn fritters, and then I'll pick something else out. I'll look through it, and we'll do those next Friday for cooking with my cookbooks. Because a couple of y'all asked about doing recipes out of that. I'm just cut a little bit short of time for today to get too many recipes out today, but next week looks a little bit easier maybe. But y'all try this, you will not be disappointed. And Cousin Julie, if you're watching, if you make it, please let me know. I think you're really going to enjoy it, and your family will too. So I'm going to leave y'all with a good recipe and tell y'all how much that we missed y'all this week. And we'll see y'all in a few days. Remember, God loves you. We love you. God bless.
Ruby, she was made for going west. Did not protest my wandering ways. Ruby, she was pretty as they come. 28